Have you ever heard this wonderful poem written centuries ago? Joy and woe are woven fine, a clothing for the soul divine. Beneath each grief and pine runs a joy of silken twine. 'Tis right that it should be so. Man was made for joy and woe. When this we rightly know, then through the world we safely go. Who wrote that? A very unusual genius. His name was William Blake. His life spanned the last decades of the 18th century and the first decades of the 19th century. He was a mystic, a revolutionary, an engraver, an artist, and a poet. What's more, he claimed to have visions sent him from heaven almost every day of his life. So, most people thought him mad. But William Wordsworth, celebrated by all the years since, said he would rather read William Blake than Dryden or Sir Walter Scott. Why did he say that? There must be something in what Blake expressed that Wordsworth thought was of great significance. And it's this: our chief teacher in life is not pleasure, it's not leisure, it is pain. We remember, we profit by what we learn from pain. There's an old poem, something like this. I walked a mile with pleasure. She chatted all the way, but I was none the wiser by all she had to say. Then I walked a mile with sorrow. Ne'er a word said she, but oh, the things I learned from her when sorrow walked with me. I want to read you from Scripture. I want to read you from Hebrews chapter 12. If we can understand this, the blows and indignities, the disappointments, the pains of life can be better entertained if we understand what I'm going to read to you. I'm reading from chapter 12, and the version I'm using here is today's English version. Let us keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, on whom our faith depends from beginning to end. He did not give up because of the cross. On the contrary, because of the joy that was waiting for him, he thought nothing of the disgrace of dying on the cross, and is now seated at the right side of God's throne. Think of what he went through, how he put up with so much hatred from sinful men. So do not let yourselves become discouraged and give up. For in your struggle against sin, you have not yet had to fight to the point of being killed. Have you forgotten the encouraging words which God speaks to you as his sons? My son, pay attention when the Lord punishes you. Do not be discouraged when he rebukes you, for the Lord punishes everyone he loves and whips everyone he accepts as a son. That's from the Old Testament. And then Hebrews continues, endure what you suffer as being a father's punishment, because your suffering shows that God is treating you as his sons. Was there ever a son who was not punished by his father? If you're not punished at all as his sons, it means you're not true sons, but bastards. In the case of our human fathers, they punished us and we respected them. How much more then should we submit to our spiritual Father and live? Our human fathers punish us for a short time, as it seemed right to them, but God does it for our own good, so we may share in his holiness. When we're punished, it seems to us at the time something to make us sad, not glad. Later, however, those who have been disciplined by such punishment reap the peaceful reward of a righteous life. Lift up your limp hands then and strengthen your weak knees. Will you remember the poem? Here it is again. Joy and woe are woven fine, a clothing for the soul divine. Beneath each grief and pine runs a joy of silken twine. 'Tis right it should be so. And when this we rightly know, then through life we safely go. God bless you.